my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my live quilting chat, Tipsy Tuesday. Hi friends, thank you for being with us. Both Facebook and YouTube are popping, so thanks for being here. Of course, make sure if you're new around here and haven't followed our page yet, do so. And of course, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so that you will get notified when we go live. Of course, throughout the show, you want to be sure to comment because we have a prize for a random commenter on the live show gets a $25 gift card, and then you get a second chance to win at the end of the show answering our giveaway question. So you want to stick around. And again, we appreciate you spending your time with me. Of course, with us, Mr. HP is here running the show straight from rehearsal.
Hey!
Yes, ended a little bit earlier. We thought we might have to postpone until 8 o'clock, but we were all good. So I hope you all found us in time. Tonight, I want to do a little recap on how to trim blocks that are rectangular using the Strabology rulers. And then, of course, I have some great fabrics, new fabrics in the store, and lots of new pre-orders. Some fun stuff to check out what is coming soon. So we will announce our giveaway question winner on our next show. So we're going to start with taking some care of some business from last show. I asked you, the giveaway question was, what is the last book you read? Last book you read. And our winner is Christine Paulsen, and her last book was Where the Crawdads Sing. I read that one, or listened to it quite a few years ago, 3 years ago probably, 2, 3. Very good book. Can't wait for the movie. We'll see. Don't they ever live up to the books, the movies? Very rarely, but they're entertaining, of course. So let's start with the quilts behind me. I decided the one right behind me because it's actually been on the set for quite a long time because it actually acts as our behind quilt, and we can pin smaller quilts to it. It's my lupin quilt from my book Quilts of Iceland, and I will be taking it down here this week because it's going on the road. It's going to be at Shipshawana, my favorite word to say. That's my word of the day. There's no word of the day from Mr. HP, only on Friday. So my word of the day, Shipshawana. It's fun to say. And a really fun place for quilters. So Shipshawana Quilt Festival is going on. It's later in June, but we are sending my quilts out. So there will be a special exhibit with all of my Iceland quilts and a few more. So if you're going there, please check it out. Send me photos. I cannot wait to hear how it all goes. So I decided to have it be behind me. Of course, you can see the photo from the book. Well, here's the full quilt. You can only see a part of it because it is kind of big. So do you have a photo of, can you put up a photo of the whole thing? So it's made with fat quarters. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I've been collecting those colors for a while. And lupins grow in Iceland in all kinds of terrain, especially the ashy sand, as you can see, and it just covers up all of that. They used to be dusty and sandy, and I really love it. And the whole month of end of June, early July, everything turns purple. Awesome. So then in the corner, we have a brand new quilt. We have a brand new quilt in the corner. This is Rocky Road. This is from my first mixology book. And it's not Crooked Path. Did I write that wrong? Yep, sorry. It's called Rocky Road. That was my fault. Rocky Road. So this one we made out of a bundle that is brand new. I'm showing you that tonight, and I'll show you exactly what background color and what kind of little pop of color we added to it. I really love it. It's really homey and fun to do. So then on the cabinet we have.
You want me to show pictures of Rocky Road?
Oh yeah, they're awesome. They're really great pictures. Yes. So I just love these colors, the taupe, the really olive green, and that blue is beautiful. And we did a little pop of that rusty red in the middle of the blocks. It really gives a little focus of the eye. And it just looks so different from the book. The quilt on the cover is Rocky Road, if you have that book. Here it is. So totally different colors. And so we played with it. I used all the taupes in the bundle for the lights, what is said to be lights, and then I eliminated the center two squares, and just did a rectangle of that one fabric. So very, very fun. All right, so then on the cabinet, I just love this runner. It's really nice and fast. It's called Crossroads. It's one of our single patterns. And I just kind of came across this sample. I forgot we made this one out of this beautiful kind of fall fabrics from last year. It was Winter Nap by Louis and Irene, and I really loved it. I love the colors, so I had to grab it to have it on the counter. Here it is. It's so pretty. So you just need a background fabric, which I used that light, which you only need a half yard. So if you're using bundles, you can use fabrics from a bundle. And then those rich fall colors. Just love it. All right, so I loved revisiting some of both of these quilts, so both the Rocky Road and the Lupin quilt. So I thought, you know what, since this is such different colorway than I made my original one out of, I thought, you know what, let me find some more colorways of both of these quilts. So I went on our website, on our Facebook page, Facebook group, Gudrun's Quilt Crew. If you're on Facebook, make sure you're a part of Gudrun's Quilt Crew so you can join in all the fun and see all the quilts shared there. I looked for both of those quilts and got a bunch pop up, so I put them together in a short little slideshow. The slideshows are always fun. So it's just imagine you're at a quilt show. You can see lots of lupins, different colors, different variations. Some turned them into bluebells, some turned them into hollyhocks, whatever works. And then some Rocky Road kind of sprinkled in between. So let's check out the slideshow. they're all so lovely, and I know I did not probably gather all of them. What I like to do is I use that search button in the crew. You type in Lupin or you type in Rocky Road, and if you posted your photo of your quilt with that in the text, so make sure if you're posting a photo of a project, make sure you have the name of the quilt somewhere in the text. It always helps, so I can pull up those beautiful quilts and put them in some fun slideshows. I saw some of your comments that you love slideshows. I love slideshows too. I love to see the quilts in different variations and colors and combinations. That's my favorite part. So any questions on these, either of these quilts or on the slideshow? Love all the pretty quilts. One said, I want to do Lupin, but I haven't figured out what colors to use. Well, you got lots of options right there. So hopefully some inspiration for you. Not all, of course, as you saw with Lupin, did a great background like I did. Lots of light backgrounds, lots of green backgrounds, all and everything in between, black backgrounds, and they're all great. It's just do what you do, and it'll be beautiful. It's a fun quilt to put together anyway. So I thought, you know, looking at both of these quilts, even though they're very different from each other, Lupin is made from fat quarters, Rocky Road is made from strips, 2.5-inch strips. So I thought I would do a little recap. I've been kind of going through my older videos from the rulers, and there's one in particular that talks about, you know, trimming blocks that are either rectangular or larger than the typical 12.5. So I thought I would just do a little recap on how the techniques I use to trim rectangular blocks, because it's not going to be a square, so we can't use the same measurements on both sides. So I love, of course, the key piece for trimming rectangular blocks is my ruler stickers. So I like to have 2 colors of ruler stickers handy if I'm doing a rectangular block, because obviously you'd be trimming a lot of them, and this is just going to save you time, and it's also really gonna make sure that you don't accidentally go into the wrong slits and do things the right way, line things up right. So I'm going to show you an example here with a block that is supposed to be trimmed down to 6.5 by 8.5. So I started just by doing the wider one, so 8.5. So as I lined it up, I put just arrows on that. Here's my 8.5-inch square. So I put arrows right on the 8.5-inch slit, which is actually the 2 and the 10.5. And I put pink arrows down here on the slits that I'm going to be cutting through. Now the other direction will be the 6.5. So then I'm going to use the other color. And because this is a 6.5-inch square, this is a rectangle, it's going to be larger than a square. I'm just going to use the 8.5-inch line to put my arrows on the 6.5-inch slit, or the slits that I'll be cutting through. Here's my 6.5-inch square, and so I have these 2 lined up here, and then I want to make sure also to go down and put arrows the same color on the slits that I'll be cutting through, which is the 3-inch slit and the 9.5. Let me fix that one, it's a little crooked. There we go. So you just find the 6.5-inch square and go down here. Now if you have the XL ruler, it's going to be very similar. We're using the white lines for 1/2-inch sizes. And so for 1/2-inch sizes, you want to make sure to turn your XL ruler so that you have the side that has the actual numbers on it. So it will have a 6.5-inch mark and an 8.5-inch mark, but you'll still be using the same squares, just like I showed you with the squared ruler. All right, so then depending on what you prefer with your block, I kind of like to lay them horizontally first. So this particular block actually has a center, so I have 2 seams that go through the center, and that's going to be the center of the block, which makes it easy. If I don't have a center, don't worry, it doesn't really matter. But I can line up this white white vertical and horizontal line right on those seams in the middle. So I know now that my ruler is centered on the block. And I can also check here to see that these pink arrows are lined up with that slits that are going to make that trim. Now all I gotta do is find my cutter. Of course, it's not here. What happened to my cutter? Oh, there it is. So now I'm gonna make my first cuts through the pink arrows. So this is the 8.5 inch side. And then I can remove my trimmings. And then I turn my block and I'm ready to line up just the same way using those horizontal and vertical lines right in the center. And by doing that, I'm also checking to see if this lines up right on this slit. So if you don't want to cut through your arrows, you can also just point them this way or this way. I like to point them this way if I want to save them. And then I make the second cuts through the 3 and the 9.5, and that squares up my block to a rectangle. So a really nice tip is to use 2 sets of arrows to make sure that you're going through. And I even sometimes write if you have a Sharpie pen. And so if you're always gonna work first horizontally, I will put a number 1 on my first cut and number 2 on my second cut, just so I really remember which one to do first. So that is it. Any questions on this one? So the first video that when I was showing this, the XL ruler wasn't out, so I just wanted to do a little refresher. Would you use 2 rulers a second for 6.5 from your small ruler? You could do that, but I feel like when I'm trimming, to switch rulers, I think it's just a little more cumbersome because you just have to put the big one away, and so you'd be switching rulers. It's just a lot of moving a ruler around. Because if I'm just trimming, I can just lift my ruler up and turn my block and set it straight back down, and I'm ready to cut again. You may have noticed that little trick I did. I'll show you with my little ruler. So after you trim and you get your little cuttings, I will take my block to turn it. I lift it up and I use my ruler to swipe the shreds away, and I'm ready to put it back down, turn it, and use it that way. So just a little extra tip how I try to be as efficient as I can. All right, so somebody talking about the stickers, cannot live without them. Don't know what I did without them. That is very true. I use them every single time I do anything. If I cut anything, if I'm doing a lot of the same cuts, I use them all the time. All right, so any questions from the other side? Any questions on Facebook? I'm looking at YouTube here. So, nope, nothing?
Nope.
Nope.
Love your demos. Thanks. Cool
Okay,
tips.
good.
Thanks for the tips. Stickers are helpful.
Appreciate it. I know you would enjoy that. All right, so we're gonna start with some of our new fabrics that we have available for pre-orders. Just a little precursor to our pre-orders. When you order, you pay in full, but you get a $5 discount off of the bundle if you order on a pre-order. We will ship it as soon as it comes in. You will just get a notification that your order ships. So if you are gonna order more than one pre-order, make sure you look at the estimated shipping months or shipping date, because they might be very far apart, and we won't ship, if you order them together, we won't ship them until the last thing comes in. So same thing if you order something that's already in stock with a pre-order, we will hold the stuff that's in stock until a pre-order comes in. So make sure you just order them separately if you want it right away.
Folks want to know what block was that.
Oh, that block? Excuse me. All that talking. This was stripped down. So this was an extra block that I had when we did our strip along. Stripped down. And normally you wouldn't have to trim this up, but there was some slivers so it was a great demo. Great demo. All right, so let's just take a look at our pre-orders that we listed today. I'm just gonna have you put them up, and then I will call them out. So we'll start with this one. This is a line from Blank Fabrics. I just loved it because it was so unique. This is a steampunk theme. So it's called Alternative Age. And it has like all these gears and fun kind of steampunk themed things. So I love the colors, kind of the earthy, rusty colors, and those three kind of basics really to play with alongside it. So there's a lot of folks that are into that steampunk. It's really cool to dress up like that for Halloween. What was that movie? What's the movie? Oh, I don't remember any names.
There's a lot of movies.
I mean, there's a movie that has that type of theme. Anyways, let's go on to this next one. This one's called Black, White, and 24 Karat. And so it's metallic. There's metallic in there, some metallic gold in there. It's by Henry Glass, but I love the prints. Very geometric, very textural, and just in that black, gray, gold, and white. So it would be really kind of cool and modern quilts made with this one. Then we have another from Wyndham by Whistler Studios, which is their in-house studio. It's called Blossom. Another unique one. I love the florals, but then really cool, interesting prints to go with it. Smaller prints, geometric prints, and the polka dots. Love those. So that one is called Blossom. Then we have a couple by Louis and Irene. Dino Glow. So dinosaurs, and they are glow in the dark. I especially love the dinosaur bones that are going to glow in the dark. So much fun. So great colors, very gender neutral, because of course girls love dinosaurs too. And I think this is perfect. Isn't there a Jurassic Park movie coming out here soon?
Yeah.
So something for the dinosaur fans. This one is called Fable. This is a Riley Blake line by Jill Finley. Her design company is Jill Lilly. And so she does a lot of applique and really cute things. And I just loved this unique colorway of those charcoal grays with that really beautiful coral pink and the greens. So it has a little bit of Scandinavian feel to it, a winterish feel to it, because it's kind of like a knitted sweater, a couple of the patterns. So really enjoyed this one. Then we have Hikari. This is our Asian line from Macauer, UK. I really love the rich colors. Sometimes Asian lines tend to stay within a certain colorway, and I really love the freshness of this one. So just beautiful florals, and that turquoise just pops alongside that plum color. And then, of course, the beautiful bright yellow. So I just really loved the color, especially on this one. Going into a more muted line, this is a Meadowside by Louis and Irene. Again, gorgeous colorway, really in kind of today in interior design. It's all about these plums and this mustard gold that we've talked about, this curry gold. So I really think this one's going to turn up some beautiful quilts. Meadowside, not always. I decided to keep the full line in this one 15-piece bundle. Then we have Patches of Hope by Wyndham Fabric. This is a breast cancer awareness line that is coming, and part of the proceeds goes towards charity. So this one will be a beautiful one to support. And so that's why I wanted to put it up on pre-order so we could be ready to order more if we see it flying out the door fast. Then we have another Lewis and Irene. This one is gorgeous as well. A winter line called Secret Winter Garden, and it has a little bit of pearlized specks in it, so it makes it just kind of shimmer a little bit, so not metallic. But I really love that, and it's going to have a beautiful texture. And the Lewis and Irene fabrics are, of course, always so beautiful to work with. So can't wait to play with this one. That was the last one, right? That's it. So lots of new ones. I showed you some more last week, so we're slowly adding them step by step. So check those out. Then we have some actual new fabric that is in the house. This one was, of course, I'm going to start with the one behind me that we made the quilt with it's called Flower Pot. This was pre-order, so if you pre-ordered, this should be on its way to you. I'm going to start with the main print in the blue. So I narrowed this bundle down to just a gorgeous colorway of the blues, the taupes, and the greens, and then we have that pop of that rusty red and gold in here. So we'll start with the blues. Small print, love a little bit of sunflower, and then we have another blue floral, different scale, little direction, and then we have a geometric print here in the blue. Going into our taupes, I love this color, and I love to include at least one little directional element, so I love this little stripe. This is a tiny typography print. I don't know if it can show here, but it has kind of like heirloom, open pollinated varieties over 15 years old. It's like a perennial pollinator, deadhead. So all about gardening words. Maybe you can read a whole book. I don't know. Maybe. This print in the taupe, and then we have the multicolor taupe. Really love how it shows up. Those other colors show up on it. Then we go into the greens. This really nice olive green. This is the main print with the white flower buds. So this is, of course, by Lella Boutique. You can kind of recognize her flowers in many of her lines. The small floral. And then we have this really pretty polka dot. And that typography print again in the green. So very split, 4 greens, 4 taupes, and 4 blues. And so when we were making the, can you put a photo real quick up on with the quilt? Just a close-up of the quilt blocks. So I used that one, Rocky Road, yeah, this one. So when we used the taupes for the outside for the lights, and then the green and the blues surrounding the center rectangle. And the center rectangle, I used a Bumbleberry's dark terracotta. Just that pop of rusty red that you see everywhere in the flowers, and it just turns out really awesome with it. And the background that I used for the quilt, so for the solid background, I used this blue fabric from To the Sea by Janet Claire. The ocean color, and it was just perfect with all of them. So, and because I split it up, I did the taupe between the background and then the blues. It was perfect. It really worked well. But let me show you some other blues that I pulled for it. I did Grunge and the Admirable, so a tad bit darker than the ocean. And then I love this one in here, Spotted Paris in the navy. It has a little gold in it, so it plays really nicely with the gold in the rest of the line. As far as the taupes, I pulled a darker hue with the sugar in the pottery color. And then the canvas linen, just a little bit lighter, has a green hue to it as these do, which blends nicely with the greens. For the greens, I chose the Grunge Juniper and then the Worn Croc in the Bayou because it has both lights and dark spots, so it gives it a little more variety than these because they're a little bit flat. We do have the blue floral, the large floral in 1 yards, And also another print from the line, which is this polka dot in an ivory. Can't really see the pattern on it. It's really, but this is not a white. This is more ivory, lighter than the taupes, but not quite as white as the flowers. So we have both of these in both 1 yards and 3 yards. Great if you wanted to do big borders, backings, or a large background piece. But if you wanted a little bit lighter than the ivory, kind of more towards the flowers in the fabric, I would go really just grunge white paper. That is a perfect match here. Then also, if you didn't like the rusty color as a focus fabric, if you wanted to add a pop of the gold, I love this one, not too bright. The spotted celestial in the maize would just give a great texture and work really well with this line. So this is Flower Pot by Lella Boutique for Moda. Beautiful, beautiful, soft, muted colors, but still interesting colorways. Or I probably wouldn't order it if it wasn't interesting. I order what I like. Isn't that the best way to live? Just get what you like, huh? So let's check out our second line to show you today, and this is Holiday. This is Christmas line from Riley Blake. It's called, let me see, Old Fashioned Christmas. And you know what? I fell in love with this one print, and I knew I had to have this. And I don't know if many of you have experienced this. So this line is by My Mind's Eye. So this print in particular, this type of Santa head, we used to, back in Iceland, we used to get these little like sheets of kind of shiny pictures with Christmas things, and we would cut them out and glue them to cardstock to make Christmas cards. And this was just exactly like one of those. It just reminded me of that, and so I had to have it. Now we used to call them shiny photos. If we translate it directly, but I tried to talk to everybody at GE Designs and nobody remembers anything about what I was talking about. So this may have been a European thing. I don't know. They were not stickers because you had to glue the back of them. So let me know if you remember this this thing, or if it has a name in English. Beautiful reds. Love this one with the branches of mistletoe and holly. And then I love this print as well. So really nice deep red color, and it has these little signs: Santa Stop Here, Fresh Hot Cocoa, Tree, Christmas Tree Farm, and then fun stuff in between. Then we go into the light colors. We have that same print with the branches on that ivory background. We have candy canes, the ivory background, and a little bit of greenery. This beautiful star print with just kind of irregular stars in green and red. And then the fir branches with red berries. Then we go into the greens, and I love that there's a shade difference in the greens. So we have the sign print in kind of a slightly lighter tone of green, but beautiful, rich Christmas green. The branches with the red berries. Then we go deeper, darker, with a stripy print, a directional print that says just bright, joy, merry and bright, joy, merry and bright. And then we have the candy canes in that darker, kind of almost a forest green, hunter green. Just love this, really, really classic Christmas. So I pulled some reds and greens. So I started with just the perfect hue that goes with this. That's the dimples and the fire engine if you wanted just a basic. But both of the new Scandi snowflakes on red, and then the other from last year's Scandi Clean Night, they work perfectly with this. And I feel like there's so much going on in these fabrics, kind of fits in perfectly. Then as far as the greens, there is the chalk and charcoal green, darker green, and then the canvas pine needle, and then just a little bit lighter tone, the grunge and the holly, but it has the darker spots in it. So any of these three work really great as the greens. As far as the lights, I loved, so all of them have print. So we have this print, the green cream with the green and red stars. We have that available in 1 yards. And I also pulled the Scandi snowflakes, the cream with the red snowflakes, because it would just mix perfectly if you wanted to have more of kind of those low volume prints that have cream background but some action. But if you wanted to go and have really clean slate, I would go either splatted in the Celestial Moonbeam or the Thatched Cream. Those both tones will match perfectly with the tones of these light prints. But we have two prints that are also available in 1 yard that come with a line, these awesome plaids. We have a diagonal plaid in the forest green, and then also the diagonal plaid with it, which is the cream and red with a little bit of green. So both very classic plaids. They can be used for anything, but work perfectly with this one, of course. So old-fashioned Christmas. What do you think? Is it old-fashioned? I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's a little antique-y, but I kind of love it. I really love it. The plaids are awesome. Agreed. So let me know in the comments if you think this was old-fashioned. Has anybody figured out what I was talking about, what I made the Christmas cards out of? I even went on Google and I tried to find it. Nope. That just shows I'm old. Really old. All right, so that is what we got for you tonight as far as new fabrics. And of course, we finish off the night with our, I want to talk about one thing, it's kind of new. I talked about our Velocity iron that came back in stock. They are on their way to us, so we put them on the website. They are on the way. I think the first batch comes tomorrow, and then more of them are coming in the week. So I wanted to tell you that these are back. They're back. They're awesome. I've been using mine, and we've been using it at the warehouse. So some questions that I got afterwards about the difference between this one and then the Maven, which is the ironing station with its own generator. So it has a big container for the water. And so somebody asked me, like, what's the real weight difference between the two? So I went and I was holding them in my hands next. So obviously the Maven, which has the big steam generator capsule, you're never going to have water in your actual ironing handle. So that's always going to stay the same weight. And it's a little bit lighter than this one. This one has no water in it right now. So just a tad bit lighter, not much, because you want an iron to have a little weight to it to get those seams pressed. But of course, when you add the water to here, this one becomes a bit heavier. How much I didn't weigh them. That's my next step. I'll go weigh them, but it is a little bit heavier. So that's the downside between the Maven and this one. This one, it's sensor activated, so when you grab the handle, the steam comes on. If you have it set to steam, with the Maven, you have to hold a button in to generate steam. Like, it's in the handle, you just hold the button in and you generate the steam. The other difference is, of course, with this one, there's just a power cord, and it's fairly long actually. With a Maven, it's a thicker cord because it actually has the steam coming through that as well. So that's the two differences. The Velocity, you can bypass the auto shutoff. Has an auto shutoff, but you can bypass it. Easy to do with the instructions. But the Maven, it does not. You cannot turn the auto shutoff off. But they both warm up fast. I actually, little trick, or not trick, but my tip for if you're anything like me, I keep my auto shutoff on because sometimes I walk away for 10-15 minutes or half an hour, and I know it will just shut off instead of me turning that off and then forgetting and walking away for a day. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. Is there really a lot of difference between irons in general? Yes, there really is. You know, I've been quilting for 20 years. Before I was introduced to reliable, this is just my experience. People love different irons for different reasons. And I used to be the one that I tried the expensive ones, and they would start leaking or doing something just as much as some of the cheap ones. Sometimes I found a cheap one that worked for a long time, but they always ended up either starting to spew or the steam wouldn't work or starting to just stain stuff until I got my reliable, and I couldn't believe it. So I went through irons probably like 2 a year because I used them a lot. 2 a year is what I would probably go through them. But this one, the first one I got, I actually still have it. It lasted, yeah, I've had it since, I want to say 2008, so it's been like over 10 years. And this one I've had, the one I have over here, I've had for 5-6 years. This one I've had for over here for 3, and that's never happened. You want to use distilled water, and that's, I think, a big part of why they last so long is using distilled water. So there is no buildup because we have really hard water where I live, and so you always get that calcium buildup. All right, any more questions?
How many watts?
Watts. Okay, well, it does have it on here somewhere. 1800 watts. Yeah, that tells you anything. I hope it does. I hope it does. Judy's asking, where do you buy distilled water? At the grocery store, Target. Go where they have the spring water in the big jugs. They have still distilled water. Walgreens, you know, pharmacies, anywhere. Yeah, they will have distilled water on the big shelf with the big jugs of water. Any chance of having a round table runner in the new book? You'll have to see. There is not going to be table runners. And I don't know if a round one would be a table runner. It would be a table topper. But this is going to be a mixology book, so there's going to be mostly quilts, not much of smaller things. But of course, a lot of them could be made into table runners. We just make a few blocks. All right. Let's see. All right. Pattern suggestions for the Christmas line. You know, this one would be, I feel like some of them are a little bit larger prints, so I would choose something that I could really show off some of those prints, but I would just mix the prints with like the light prints and the green and the red all together. So something like JoJo or a Sammy or anything like that would be great. But you could also take the lights out and add a few more lights and do something with lights and darks. You know, any of like the Novas or the Kiras or anything like that. That would be gorgeous too. So I think any of those would be really, really great. There's so many options. So many options. Algorithm would be good. Something that has a little bit bigger pieces to see those prints. Next, Fast and Furious. So they're giving me all kinds of ideas so I can make a round table topper, I guess.
One.
Oh, this would be great. This bundle would be great for the tree skirt that we did, the Noel tree skirt, which was Fast and Furious Club Season 1, November project. Because you could do the 3 colors, the lights, the green, and the red alternating. That would be really nice. Okay. Any word of when the book will come out? Nope. There won't be a date. There won't be a date. You will hear from me when you can pre-order, but there won't be a date because of supply chain issues. There won't be a date. It's in the testing process right now. After that, we do photos, final edits, and boom, it's off to the printer. And then it's out of my hands. I'll tell you when that is, because then we will have a cover for you and we will have all the details. All right? You will not miss it. If you Don't miss a Tipsy Tuesday. But you know what? I will start showing sneak peeks very soon. We're gonna show sneak peeks, a quilt at a time, just to keep you on your toes. Strip along anytime soon. Daughter carried away my Hey June. You know, we were just talking about it. We were looking at our calendars. Who knows? There may be a quilt along coming soon. We just finished a strip along. We gotta give it a little time. I gotta give it a little breathing time. Give me a little breathing time. Let me get this book off. And then we can celebrate with a quilt along. How about that? Deal, everybody? Deal?
Deal.
I love it. All right, so you've been commenting a lot. That's great. Increases your odds to win this prize. Winner of the $25 gift card from your comments randomly is, you got it? Darla Maple. Darla, congratulations. All you got to do is send an email to help@GE-Quilt-Designs, and we will send you your gift card right away tomorrow. And then, of course, you have a second chance to enter the second giveaway by answering this little giveaway question. And before that, though, I wanted to remind you, I revealed this a week ago. If you are anywhere in the Minnesota vicinity and want to come and visit us for our first annual tent sale, it's going to be Saturday, August 27th. This is the Saturday before Labor Day weekend, the weekend before Labor Day weekend. We will have some really great deals out in a tent, and then, of course, some fun stuff. Music, of course, food truck, quilt show, and who knows, maybe you'll get to see all the quilts in the book. Ooh. Whoa. So put it on your calendar if you're anywhere in the area and don't have anything to do on a Saturday, 10 to 2. It'll be fun to see you guys at our first and hopefully not last tent sale. All right, so my question to you, a second chance to win another gift card is, and this is probably because of what we've been eating, what are your favorite pizza toppings? We had a pizza party yesterday, and lots of different pizza toppings. And I've come to realize, I usually do just vegetables, and I love the more the merrier, and you call them my bougie pizzas, because...
Yeah, it's not a pizza.
But I came to realize one thing that I cannot not have on a pizza, or like I cannot live without on top of pizza, is olives. That just does it for me. I love olives on a pizza.
Who likes arugula on pizza?
Sometimes. Depends on the pizza.
Arugula? That's my word of the day. Arugula. Arugula.
Yeah, who puts a salad on a pizza? I do sometimes.
Arugula.
My bougie pizza. My bougie pizza. No, what are you things that you have to have? I know it. It's mushrooms. For you.
Cheese, mushrooms, and a good sauce.
Yeah.
Not dry.
Good sauce.
And thin crust. I don't like too thick.
No,
bread.
Thin crust. Actually, the crust has to have some flavor for me. That was the downfall of the pizza last night. The crust had no flavor. Have to have flavor. I don't mind
the black olives now.
Yeah, you're starting to like them.
Yeah. They
give a lot of oomph.
Green peppers. I don't mind that on there either.
Green peppers. Oh, that's fun. Oh, some of you like some bougie stuff like me.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois, like figs and like
no.
yeah. Some fun, unique. And lobster pizza. In Iceland, lobster pizza is delicious. Gotta have garlic on it too. Anyway, so we are going to finish off the evening. Of course, answer that question about your pizzas. Maybe you don't eat pizzas. Who knows? Who doesn't eat pizza? Maybe. Maybe there'd be some.
Like Morris, he can't eat cheese.
We could have another question another time. Do you like the New York style? Do you fold your pizza? Do you like the thick crust, or do you like the really thin, real Italian ones? Those are the best. So that'll be a later, continuation of the pizza discussion.
A lot of people are gonna have pizza tonight now.
I know. So our next Tipsy Tuesday will be a week from today, June 7th at 7 p.m. Central. But make sure you make a note of this. This Friday, happy Friday, we're going to take it extra early, you guys. He's got a gig. The Prince celebration at Paisley Park starts on Thursday, and so he's got to be in a studio by noon. So we're going to do a show at 10 a.m. on Friday. Yes, 10 a.m. But you know what? I'm not going to go back to work after that because I'm going to go see him play, so I can have a cocktail. You might not be able to.
I can't.
I'll make yours virgin.
Thanks for the well wishes to have a good show.
Yes.
We hope we
So
do.
10 a.m. this Friday. Don't miss it. I've got some new stuff to show you too. And we'll be in celebration mode, which is always fun. But thank you for watching us tonight, hanging with us on this Tuesday. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.